My name is Arturo Manso. I went to Cal Poly San Luis Obispo, and my major was crop science.
My name is Edgar Molina. I went to Harnell College in Salinas for 2 years. I graduated with the AA degree in plant science, and I transferred to California State University Chico, and I graduated there with the crops and land resource management degree.
So I was born and raised here in the Salinas Valley, and the fields were my playground. I was a little on the outskirts of town, so we didn't really have the conventional means of having fun. So we would go out and explore the fields. I didn't want to lose that sense of multi-generational attachment or agriculture in general, being that my dad and my mom, of course, being field workers. I think that's such a rich and deep aspect of not just my family, but so many first generation kids. And so I said, I don't want to lose touch of that. So I'm going to study this. We come to find out that a lot of these kids are also from the Salinas Valley. And we formed these study groups early on, freshman year, sophomore year, and then these groups just stayed very consistent throughout the time.
I didn't know exactly what I wanted to do. So when I went back to community college, I took a few courses in plant science or, biology, chemistry. And then I started networking, which is with the local students that were actually working in ag. The hardest classes for me, they were kind of the funnest. The chemistry classes, the bio courses, the soil science, fertilizers, and then the math that goes into it, because math was always my favorite subject. Genetics was probably my toughest course. I started going to office hours, and then the instructor at the time, she really saw that I was putting a lot of effort into it. Once I started actually putting in the extra effort, I picked it up so quick.
Don't be scared to get dirty. Most of the ag world involves getting dirty, getting muddy, coming home. You jumped in a puddle of mud or something, right? But don't be scared to get dirty and to be involved. I was in FFA, and they definitely help you with your leadership skills, organizational skills. And that's something I recommend if you want to pursue a degree in agriculture. It'll give you the right foundation and definitely point you in the right direction as well. At Cal Poly, I was in a club called Latinos in Agriculture, which also helped you with interview skills, resume workshops. They provided a lot of tools that would help you get a job, basically, even when you were still at Cal Poly or in school. But definitely, you could bring these tools in the real world once you graduate.
I would definitely network a lot more. Maybe talk to some people. Just call them and ask them, hey, what do you do? What is it that you do on your daily basis? Go on a ride along, or spend a day with someone. Spend a day with a grower or a rancher or any foreman, harvest foreman. It's so different. Like from grapes to strawberries to vegetables, it's 3 different worlds.
My current title is lettuce breeder for the desert Southwest, and the company is 3 Star Lettuce. So my job is to determine issues in commercially grown fields and see if we can find a solution for them. It's my job to figure out what potential sources of resistance we can utilize to develop new varieties that will combat these new diseases and provide quality produce for consumers. So a typical day is probably about 75% outdoors, 25% indoors, where we prep the stuff in the office, print field books, organize lists, perhaps pack some seed, and then the remainder of the time is out in the field, making sure that the seed is germinating properly, making sure that the varieties have been thinned, how close is it to being ready to be evaluated. Once it's ready to be evaluated, go in there, take notes, cut lettuce, and figure out which one of these have potential to potentially be promoted to either a pre-commercial or a commercial variety.
I'm an agricultural pest control advisor, certified crop advisor, and I work for a company called Green Valley Farm Supply. Daily activities is to go out and pretty much inspect various vegetable crops. My job is pretty much to get them to harvest as healthy from the time that they're planted to the time that they harvested. Once they're harvesting that crop, my job is done. But it's my responsibility to keep it clean from insect and disease.
So I worked at a flower nursery right out of high school, and I loved it, but I saw that there were minimal opportunities for breeding, and I knew from the beginning that that's what I wanted to do. So I ventured out a bit, and on one of the career days at Cal Poly, I went to the booth for Tanimura and Antle, and they provided onion breeding technician internship. And so I applied and I got it, and that's how I got into this company. I did onion breeding internship for one summer, and then I did a lettuce breeding internship for the next summer, and then the year after that I got hired full-time. I think I knew I wanted to be a breeder very early on, probably about 12, 13 years old. I saw the potential in creating something, not necessarily out of nothing, but having somewhat of control of something that we can develop. Plant beans and have them flower, and then harvest the beans and do it all over again. I didn't know that that was part of it. When I was 15, I went to UC Davis for this program called Cosmos, and I took a biotechnology course, stayed there for a month, and that just reinforced my love for genetics, biotechnology.
When I was at Chico, I worked at the university farm for a work study, and then also at a conservatory house and in campus, just kind of maintaining the greenhouses of a plant collection that their owner had at the time. When I was about to be finished up, like coming back to Salinas, that's something that I really wanted to do. Like I was, my head was just focused on, I want to be a PCA, pest control advisor, certified crop advisor. And that's kind of like just what I wanted to do. There's so many things you can do, but I was kind of just set on stone. I want to come back and I want to be a good PCA in the Valley, and I want to do vegetables. Because it seemed like the most exciting, just being, because in Chico, there's a lot of orchards, there's a lot of rice, there's a lot of other crops that don't grow here. When I came back from Chico, I started working in food safety. So I came back and I was an intern in food safety. And so I kind of gave it a try. I was just knocking on doors for someone to give me the chance, like in several companies. And if you don't have any experience or like previous experience in the industry, like no one really wants to give you a chance unless you work yourself up from the bottom up. I had an opportunity to come out to Green Valley, and once I saw the opportunity, I just jumped on it quick.
The scholarship I received was crucial to help me financially when I was in college. I decided that at some point I would like to do the same and give back to the community. So when I graduated, I was already thinking about that. And when my sister graduated, we started the Manso Family Scholarship. We're at 6 consecutive years of having recipients for the scholarship. I think it's crucial that we do the same as others did for us when we were trying to get to our goals and give back to the community.
Whatever you can learn kind of opens up your eyes, like I don't have to work with chemicals. I could always just sell seed or sell vegetables or sell salads. What I do, my kids watch. So if they see me doing, working on the garden or talking about insects, they're really intrigued in it now. I never met anyone like myself, like when I was in high school, that would go and talk about what they do, or kind of get someone to pursue a career in agriculture. And I think it's tough nowadays. I kind of like ag education. I like the promoting side of ag education, doing a farm day and showing the kids what bugs are and what the good bugs are compared to the bad bugs are, or the good disease or a bad disease, or what a plant doctor is. Showing them that everyone can get sick, not just humans, the animal or plants.
I would definitely say that being outside, to me, beats being indoors every day. Sometimes we witness the sun come up, and that's beautiful. You can't compare that. The hills here, right after the rains, they're greens. It's beautiful scenery. We take for granted the things we have around us that are free at times, and just being outdoors and being able to experience nature in that raw form while working is amazing.